cameras up a number, boom, my soldier. You attack the boys at midnight without regard.
I didn't realize you are in the studio. Dr. Sampa, welcome to today's broadcast. Make your comments. I didn't realize you are in the studio. I was looking for you. I didn't see you.
Okay,
make your contribution before I bring in the callers.
Okay, so Ambassador, I wanted to comment on two main issues. The number one is the video that I've seen that indeed the government has employed some military personnel around the Constitutional Court. I saw a video where somebody was driving through and they saw those people there. In the area, I'd already gotten information that they had planted some people who are supposed to abduct anybody who is going to take the papers of petition to the Constitutional Court, as it were. Now, you tend to wonder, even if you are a dictator, you need to do it in a smart way. How can you be a careless dictator who does everything in broad daylight? People are able to see that you are even failing to perform your dictatorial tendencies with, you are performing them with impunity. Look at what they are doing. They don't even want Mundubile to petition. If they won the election, why would you be worried of Mundubile petitioning? It's because they are very sure that they didn't win the election. Then coming to Nevas Mumba, Ambassador, like you put it, like, how can you say Nevas Mumba? Who respects Nevas Mumba in the country? Everybody knows that those are some of the people who are a disappointment to our society. Nobody wants to listen to such people. So even when they want somebody to be an intermediary between the government and the family, they need to look for people who are respectable, people who people can listen to when they speak. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention is this. I want the Zambians and all the listeners to make sure that they pay attention to what is known as scapegoating. You know, scapegoating is one of the things that things that the dictators use to try and find a way out of a situation which they have created. So I'll give an example. Idi Amin had a scapegoat of Indians. What he did was, when Idi Amin was a dictator, he noticed that people needed to be given an enemy, and he created that enemy in Indians. So he started telling Indians who were having businesses in Uganda that those Indians were ripping off Uganda. And if most of you have read and heard about what happened to those Indians, he deported almost everyone because he blamed them for the problems that Uganda was facing. Meanwhile, as a dictator, is the one who caused that. It's a playbook of all dictators. If you go to Germany, what Hitler did was that Hitler blamed the Jews. And in the end, he ended up committing the worst massacre on earth. And he did all that to blame other people as a scapegoat. Now, what we are seeing in Zambia, Hakainde is blaming Mundubile and the Tonse Alliance for all the problems that we are facing, including the things that were happening during elections, because he's using them as a scapegoat. Every dictator has got a scapegoat, and that scapegoat is what they use to cover up. But in our case in Zambia, the other thing that this government is using as a dictatorship is that they are also trying to justify aggression. You see, when Hitler wanted to attack Poland, what he did is Hitler sent his own soldiers and then attacked a village which was next to Poland. And when he attacked that village, those people attacked, they wore the clothes for the Polish, and they were speaking Polish. So as a result, people believed that actually the people who attacked, it was Poland. And the next day, Hitler attacked Poland. The same thing Hakainde is doing. They went and attacked a polling station last time. They went and attacked a campaign center in Ndola during elections, and they left capes for Tonse. Meanwhile, what kind of a criminal can leave evidence behind? Because all they wanted was people to blame. And they had to blame the Tonse. The same thing they did. They go and attack Mundubile. And in the end, they come back with guns showing all those weapons that no, it is Mundubile who did this. They go to polling stations. They cause all the anarchy they can cause. But in the end, they will leave evidence looking like it's the Tonse Alliance who did all that. So dictators have got a pattern. And Zambians need to be seeing this pattern which is developing in our country. So what is happening right now is that they will try by all means to paint other people black, because a dictator can't survive on love. A dictator survives on fear and aggression. If a dictator doesn't thrive on fear and aggression, they can easily be toppled. The other thing is dictators are very paranoid. So they are always scared that somebody is plotting something against them. That's why they are dangerous. So Hakainde right now is very dangerous, because anyone who tries to speak against is seen as an enemy. And the only way is to eliminate the enemy. So I would urge the people to be very careful. We are living in very dangerous times. That's why you can even see that now it has become normal to see the military moving around in compounds and all that. And be rest assured, the next 5 years, if Mundubile's petition is not accepted, the next 5 years you will see more soldiers on the streets, because a dictator knows that they are not accepted by people. They know that they are not loved. So the only way they can manage to control the people is not people's free will of submission. No, they need to coerce the people to submit. And these dictators, they know it. And that's why it's more dangerous, because they know and they understand they are not loved. So when they come at you, they'll come with full force. No wonder I would urge our members and other people to be very careful. And at this time, to make sure that you are not careless, because some people you may trust may actually be the ones who are the informants. In a dictatorship, a lot of people try to survive. And when survival skills kick in, people become treacherous. Like we have seen, Zumani Zimba has become treacherous all of a sudden. And this is a person who was supposed to stand by Mundubile up to the last end. But this is a person who was on ZNBC yesterday, and every Zambian knows. When you see a person on ZNBC, they are working with Hakainde. Exactly like that. It is that simple. So this petition must go on. It is the only way. It doesn't matter the outcome, but there will be a record where to start from. That's why they don't want it to go there. And Ambassador, you've been right all along. When you showed the picture of Reverend, how can Reverend Chomba be a militia? But you see, people shouldn't be surprised with that.
Reverend Trevor Mwamba.
Trevor Mwamba, sorry, not Chomba. Trevor Mwamba. So, by Reverend Trevor Mwamba, to be called a militia, people shouldn't be surprised, because when Idi Amin was trying to look for a scapegoat, are you saying the Indians, who were the ones who were providing the economic benefits to Uganda, were the ones causing the sufferings? The answer is no. But still, Idi Amin, as a dictator, had to blame somebody, and that person was the Indians. Even in Germany, it was the same thing. Hitler had to blame someone. So Hakainde, as a dictator, has to blame somebody. Tomorrow it can be you. Today it is Reverend. Tomorrow it can be anybody. That's why we've seen even innocent people losing lives, like Mutotwe Kafuaya. So it is a very dangerous time now in Zambia. And as you said, Ambassador, it is really so wrong, and our people need to open up their eyes. And I'm glad that most of the people are not believing this scapegoating they are doing. Nobody believes it. And you see, in a dictatorship, they also repeat messages, because they understand that the more they repeat those messages, they are indoctrinating people. And you can tell, right now, most of the UPND cadres are indoctrinated. No matter what you tell them, they will still believe what their masters will say. So even now, others believe that, but whenever Reverend you showed, Ambassador, they believe that he was holding that gun. Others believe that even that time Mtoto Kafuaya was killed, there was a shootout, because those people are desensitized and they are indoctrinated. And because now he has started channeling all this into the youths, he's going to students in schools, sponsoring these to my student elections. Now he wants to make sure that it starts from there. And that's what all dictators do. If you read about Hitler and you read about other dictators, they always target the young, and they make sure those young people are indoctrinated, and they continue fighting using the young people. So the young people, I'll just urge the students, you need to be very careful, because the future of Zambia depends on you. And if you look at Zambia, more than 50% of the people are youths. So the youths should not become brainwashed, Because this dictatorship is not just going to affect the people who are being shot today, it will affect each and everyone. In a dictatorship, the unfortunate part, Ambassador, is that there is no accountability because there is absolute power. Look at it this way. You are just from mentioning that all the 60 MPs who are under Tonse will now be under Akainde. So that parliament will not have opposition. So there is absolute power. Whatever he wants will go. Whatever he wants to do is what is going to happen, which is unacceptable. But let's remember, it's not like other presidents did not have the same power and they couldn't have done what they would have done. The thing is that they merely respected the constitution and they appreciated the Zambian people. That's how come we've reached this far. But the only way to get out of a dictatorship, it starts with you and I. We need to speak out against it. We always need to resist dictatorship. Because what country do we want to live for our children? We can't live a country of dictatorship to our children. Otherwise, we will have no Zambia. So I urge everyone to stand together. Let's support Munduvile. Let's support these people. I was impressed, Ambassador, yesterday. I saw Kalaba visiting Mutotika Foya's house, and I expect that now he's supposed to do more. All these politicians, they need to do more. When your friend is being persecuted, you cannot sit behind and watch. You are supposed to come out. That's leadership. A leader is supposed to come out and speak when there is injustice. Because if they are quiet, unless they are happy with what is happening to their friend, but do you have to wait until it is on you? The answer is no. It is time for Zambians to unite because there is one common misnomer in our country, which this anomaly must be removed, and which is a dictatorship. Zambia has always stood as a beacon of peace. And people should not be discouraged. I'll repeat this. People should not be discouraged when they hear that there are a lot of other countries who are trying to congratulate him. You see, that doesn't matter. The people who are feeling the heaviness of the sort, it's you, the Zambian people. The other people don't know and they don't care. So if you, the Zambians, keep quiet, nothing will happen. Even the same people who are supporting the dictatorship, they will be part of the suffering. Because, to start with, there will be no building of those international airports you were lied to. Nothing of the employment of all those more than 10,000 you've seen who he has been mentioning on all the rallies. Nothing will happen, and you can't question. Because if you question, you are opposition. So Zambians need to open up their eyes and they need to pay attention. You listen. It is what you are seeing Ambassador Mwamba doing and all of us. It's not because we just want to talk, but we love our country. It's patriotism. If you are patriotic to the country and you see the wrong direction it's going, people like Ambassador have sacrificed too much. They are even outside the country. Just for one reason. Ambassador Mwamba can't suffer. He can't suffer. He has worked. But if, because of the love he has for the country, he's here still working hard to try and speak for the people. I urge every Zambian to stand up and make sure that you speak against this injustice, and let's report. One way you can do this, if you see something happening, you can always, you always see the number for Ambassador Mwamba. You can reach out. You reach out, you tell him, and you say, you try to find other people, he will help you, and he will link you to other people, and you will find a way to bring out whatever is there. Ambassador, I end here.
Thank you, Dr. Brian Sampa, and thank you. We missed you at breakfast this morning. All of you went, oh, you just left me alone. But it was a wonderful breakfast. We had a wonderful interaction. Speak to this issue. Many people are saying Brian Munduvile should concede. They are saying that he should not file the petition in court. What is your view? Oh, has Dr. Sampa gone? Oh, just a minute, just a minute. It looks like he has logged off. He has logged off. Let me see what I can do quickly. Because he's at work and he just came to make this contribution.
money, other things. And here, but they understood why they're on the Constitutional Court. Because the judiciary, the courts must be the place of last recourse where we go to seek justice. Injustices are done every day in our elections. We know it here in Zambia. 2015, 2016, we know it. But in 2016, our matter was not even heard. Yet the Bill of Rights is clear, and if a citizen is aggrieved about anything, they have a right to go to court. And any court of competent jurisdiction has an obligation to hear that. It didn't happen in this country. That's happened in Malawi. We're so proud of that Malawi Constitutional Court bench. I hope we can all learn something from that ruling, that you cannot continue cheating the people, the very people that gave you an opportunity to save them, especially in those roles. So congratulations to the opposition in Malawi, and one other thing we learned from Malawi is that they came together. The opposition came together. Here we have some oppositions that are surrogates of the ruling party who are used to abuse fellow opposition. But there, Dr. Chakwera, Dr. Silas Chidima, and others came together for a joint petition to save the people of Malawi. It's another lesson that we Zambians must learn. But more important, it's a Malawian citizen, the Malawian voter, who did not allow their vote to be manipulated. When their vote was manipulated, they showed it. They went in the streets to express their displeasure on how somebody had stolen their votes. They did it for months on end. It encouraged the judiciary. So you can see the point here.
Let us open the phone lines. It's your time to contribute. It's Saturday. Let's not keep you long. So make your phone call just now. Let's begin the program. Make your contributions. The phone lines are open. Make your calls right now. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello.
Yes, caller.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Ambassador, first and foremost, when you're on break, I'm kindly asking if you may politely use another video to when you're on break to entertain us or to listen to this video to really. Some of us would feel like we were coming blind just to see it because I can't even hear what he's saying. Anyway, Ambassador, Zumani, where did Zumani come from? Zumani, when Kaiser Zulu was when he was fired, nobody knew where Zumani was or who he was. I stand to be corrected. If somebody can tell me Zumani was a politician and he was doing ABCD, all I know is that he was at UNZA, he was at one time writing some articles against PF. He was more of UPND together with Savoy. So now Zumani is the Secretary General of the largest opposition party in Zambia. And just after losing, when people are still mourning, they're still crying, when he was supposed to be crying, loudest, Zumani comes out very strong and he has already healed. He's talking about unity. When the report comes and says Zumani is on a payroll of OP, people say no, it was a lie. So if you can look at the track of Zumani, how Zumani has been trading from when President ECL lost an election, he was quick to say ECL lost the election by himself, and he further on and posted certain things. Okay, so this is. Zumani is an agent of the government in opposition, and it's sad that people did not take things seriously, more especially the leadership. It's very, very sad. So the issue of petition, I think you ask many, the ambassador just asked Dr. Sampa that many people are saying that Brandon Ndubile and Makebi Zulu, they should not go ahead and petition. Who are those many people? Because in my understanding, many people are Zambians. These are the people that went and supported all these, the crying, the rigging. Those are the people that wanted Ndubile to become their president, their leader. So, in my opinion, let the petition go. Let the UPND and his team defend themselves in the court of law, because the court of law should be independent and they'll look at all those things. I know maybe things may not turn out positively, but to be honest, let's go and expose who they are. And therefore, Ambassador, I still call upon the United Nations, I still call upon EU, I still call upon United States, that this president called HH as idiotic as he is a project of United States. This president was imposed on Zambians. We know how the Americans, they supported him, how Joe Biden really gave him the support, and that's how we ended up with this fool in State House. Ambassador, we cannot allow this kind of indiscipline of UPND to go on. If you remember, this Tabokawana went and started mocking about the shooting of Honorable Mtoto Kafwai. Ambassador, it's not the first time. If it was me, if this government is real is offering governance, the first and foremost selecting the chief spokesperson who's permanent secretary Kawana could have actually said indeed. They would have accepted it immediately and make an apology to the family. Like there was ABCD and along the way former minister was shot at, and we sincere apology. Trust me, this thing would have died. But if you look at their trend, how these fools in government, how Kadarism has gone, they think they are opposition, and they are in government. So they are not offering any governance whatsoever.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
I'll remain anonymous, Honorable Mwamba, Ambassador Mwamba.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually want to support the petition. Because if we don't petition the results, it may become a norm, to become normal. And then we are going to destroy our constitution. And many Zambians will suffer. Let the petition go on so that the results are scrutinized and determine who lost and who won. In fact, the best would be to just clarify so that we don't have those exposures, so that we can vote again. That's my take, Wamwamba. Thank you so much.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Emmanuel.
Good evening.
I would love to
Yes, make your contribution.
Yes, my concern is my contribution, should I say, is those of you who have connection with international community, I think the way things are in Zambia, we need the help from the international community because it is clear that the president Hichilema is determined to disregard the law because it has saddened me to see that even the court is besieged with the military personnel. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Okay, I will remain my name anonymous, but Mwanga.
Thank you, anonymous Mwanga. Make your contribution.
Yes. Two things. I'll be very quick. I think the previous caller, not this previous, the other one did say that when break, don't play that video. ERIHH. I love that video because it's actually speaking of him talking about the right to petition when elections have been stolen. Now that tells you that we have a two-faced person. The one who was actually speaking that is a different one that we have in State House now. And it tells you that the man can lie and doesn't listen to himself. And he really lied. That is one. Then secondly, I want to encourage Zambians to understand one thing, which people in power, normally they don't use their brains. They don't think. Even when they know the constitution, they don't. They use the power that they are in. But one encouragement, we have seen dictators in this world. And HH should understand, today in power, he's not seeing it. I'll give him two people, which Zambians we need to really look forward to. We are the mighty Saddam Hussein. When his time came after he had killed people, he had done what? We had another one called Muammar Gaddafi. When his time came, so all these people, his time will come, because people don't just get killed like this. They just don't steal with impunity like this. But now that he's in power, the seat of power, he's not listening. But I can encourage Zambians. His time of reckoning will come, and it won't be long. That's all I can say.
Thank you, my dear brother. Thank you, Anonymous, for that contribution. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I don't know what time it is where you are, Ambassador.
Tell us your time. You greet me from your time.
All right. Okay, thanks. Sir, I want to quickly talk about people that are calling for reconciliation and all that. I think the reconciliation, in my own view, that's with the president himself. If he has got that confidence that he won the election, let him go off this election and we'll go for fresh election. That way he will prove himself that he did. Otherwise, this nonsense that has happened in Uganda, it can end up, and anybody who is sympathizing with the criminals that are in government is not a Zambian. Good night.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
My name is Anonymous. Good evening, Honorable
Good evening.
Sampa. Just a quick one again. I feel that the petition should continue and we shouldn't relent, because already we have lived with him. We know who he is with his life. We are experiencing the same lives even in the present time. So we already can read the future, what the future will bring. So leaving this to him, it will be hell. Better the petition continues, and we have to make sure that on Monday it posts. Please, Bamwamba, you are connected, even with the international community. Please, if it doesn't pull through, try by all means that it pulls through. And that is a record for us, even though it is not going to go well, because everything is now manipulated, as he is dictating every area of our lives in Zambia, where we cannot run anywhere. So the best thing to do is just to make sure that it goes through, it goes, the petition goes. That is what we want. Otherwise, reading who he is as this man, as he is, we know the future will be terrible. It will be just like Mussolini or maybe Hitler. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
I would like to remain anonymous. I'm calling from Kitwe.
Make your contribution.
But the petition is a non-negotiable issue. Petition should go ahead. Ngachashupa sana. Nefobele tupatu perama pepara tuatu arapai coach para peni pale. Pani foto lero kwa president. President nani? Uyo president wapunda waba isi that. Yo to vote iwe vote na vote na ba PM ba pero muntu onsha vote. So ngachashupa sana ila chira petition. Nefoto matu perama pepara tuatu arapai ne pai coach. Na to tira mkwai.
Pai coach pari ama soja mukaya pamande mukaya join pamande. He's gone. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make a contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador. I'll remain anonymous for now.
Ambassador, like any other caller, I think we need this petition must be done. But of course, I heard some surrogates saying that even if you do petition, but that does not does not stop the inauguration. That's their understanding.
Oh, I'll speak to the issue of the inauguration. I forgot to mention. I've got latest information about the inauguration. It might take place towards the end of the month.
Okay, that's good. But the petition, Ambassador, must go on. Like I said the other day, you see, even in football, when someone scores a compromise score, the referee and the helping referees, they didn't see the angle at which he scored. They always refer to that TV they call VAR. And so in this case, is our VAR is the constitutional court that can look into these things. The evidences, Ambassador, are too overwhelming. European Union, they've been sponsoring elections and they've been monitoring elections. For them to, spot some errors into the electoral process of our country cannot go just like that. The African Union, EU, SADC, all those people, Law Association of Zambia, other organizations, the evidence is there, and those people can be called as witnesses. These things, this petition must go on, Ambassador. Let's not fear. Of course, there is this fear of the army. The army are planted everywhere, but I think the petition must go on. This petition can be filed by even organizations, law association, the church organization, CSOs. They can file this petition on behalf of the people of Zambia and let the people know the truth. The Bible says you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And then also I'm appealing to the government to arrest Mr. Zumanzimba and the other one, the president of the militia, Mr. Tembo. If they are really truthful in whatever they are doing, because you cannot arrest someone who did not start the militia group. So this, I think they should arrest those people as well, so that if they are doing the right thing, we'll see if they will arrest them. But I know that some people have been compromised, and that's why we are seeing this selective justice in our country, which is not good.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
I would like to remain anonymous. Ambassador, when people go for election and the other party is not happy with the results, it is only normal for the people who are not agreeing with the results to go to the courts of law so that justice can prevail. If really they are not happy with the results, it's better they go to the courts of law. That will be the best way that this thing can be handled. So I'm also in support that it's better the petition is done. Otherwise, we will not be doing ourselves justice if we don't go to the courts of law, Ambassador. Then maybe on the video which you are playing, where the president the HH was talking about the petition in one election and whatever, I would also encourage you to play it even louder. It's not very clear. When you're playing that video, it's very low. It's very difficult to hear what he was saying. So I'll just encourage you to play it a bit louder. Okay. If you are to play it, yes.
Okay.
So, thank you, Ambassador.
Yes, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Matilda.
Make your contribution, my dear sister.
Petition if it has to go ahead. And then you got some questions there ba President the HH. Mr. President, how many innocent Zambians must be lost before our leaders finally say enough is enough? when a Zambian mother loses a son who is supposed to comfort, when she believes the state failed to protect him. Mr. President, do the tears of poor Zambians' families reach the State House, or have we become numbers on a government report? How can a mother sleep peacefully when her child is in prison and she does not know what tomorrow will bring? Why should an innocent Zambian fear the very government that was elected to protect them? Mr. President, if someone is accused of crime, why can they not be given justice through a fair and transparent process? Why are there continuing concerns about arrest and detention of opposition figures, including the recent post-election arrest? Mr. President, sir, what would you say if it were your own child sitting in the prison cell waiting for justice? How can Zambia call itself a democracy if its citizens are afraid to speak freely against those in power? Why must political disagreements sometimes feel like a battle for survival? Mr. President, do you remember what it felt like when you yourself were imprisoned? You were imprisoned because of a crime. But don't let Zambians pay for what they never did. If you remember the pain of being behind bars, why should anyone Zambian be left there without their rights being respected? Who will answer forever for every innocent person who dies while the nation is still searching for the truth? Mr. President, regarding the recent death during our recent who was shot, and then the injustice, how do you feel seeing someone bleeding and then you keep on pretending with a fake smile, saying that no, he has not been shot, he's okay, knowing deeply that their lives lost? Mr. President, have a heart. Zambia, we all love one Zambia. Why should family have to bury their loved ones while politicians argue about who is responsible? Who is protecting the poor Zambian when powerful people are accused of taking advantage of country resources? Where is copper wealth going, and how much is of it actually reaching original Zambians? Why does a country so rich in copper still have families struggling to put food on the table? Who is becoming rich from Zambians' minerals while mining communities remain poor? If Zambia's copper belongs to Zambians, why should Zambians be poor, Mr. President, but only foreigners? Mr. President, I'm asking these questions. I'm bleeding in my heart, knowing that my fellow Zambians are crying. Who is responsible for protecting our mukula trees for illegal exploitation, and where does the money from those resources go? How many forests must disappear before we admit that our natural heritage is being destroyed? When our copper, gold, and forests are gone, what will we leave for our children? Me, as I'm talking to, the person who's talking here, I'm a mother, and I know how it feels. Why should future generation inherit empty mines and damages forests instead of properties? Can you honestly look a poor family in their eyes and tell them that Zambia's natural wealth is working for them? Why are original Zambians asked to sacrifice and be in patience while the world's powerful people appeal to life comfortably? Resources. Mr. President, kindly answer me. I cry as a Zambian citizen. Will you guarantee that every Zambian accused of a crime like Chester and others who have been arrested for no reasons, politicals were there, like Keke was there, he accepted the defeat, but he never held on to the power. Will you investigate every irregular allegation of unlawful killing, torture, abuse by security forces, even when the allegation involves people connected to your government? What would you tell the mother who cries every night because her son is behind the bars, believes he has been forgotten? What would you tell widow who has lost her husband, still does not have answers about his death? He was not sick, but because of having a meeting with our president, Mondobile, and you had to end his life. Mr. President, hear me loud and clear. I ask these questions with pain and I cry. Did you enter in politics to inherit Zambia's problems or to make sure our children never have to suffer the pain? Mr. President, I'm trying to be strong. When you leave office one day, what do you want the poor Zambians to remember you about your leadership, the promises or the lives and families you have actually killed? Mr. President, if you could sit alone tonight with every grieving mother, every unemployed young person, every prisoner who says they are innocent, and every Zambian who feel robbed of their country's wealth, what would you honestly say to them? Mr. President, answer me with due respect. I'm Chembe, Lamba by tribe, Joakundo line, and I ask these questions with pain. I'm crying and I demand the answers from you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Emotional, my dear sister, emotional. And these questions must be answered.
I demand the answers.
Hello, caller. Please make your contribution.
Thank you very much.
Hello,
my dear sister.
Yes, hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
This is Miriam Tengo. I'm calling from Lusaka.
Yes.
Yes, Ramwamba. Me, I am just so grieved about what is happening in the country. People are living in fear. Even when you comment, Shepa Facebook, when you make a comment, even when you are not insulting, but if you are just commenting against the government, you are just saying about what they are doing to the people. The messages you know, there is so much fear in the people. HH has put so much fear in the Zambians. This is not the kind of Zambia that we want, Ramwamba. We regret putting this president in that state house. This is the biggest mistake that the Zambians have made. I don't know whether it is possible to submit your petition online, whether it is possible to do that. I think Mundubile doesn't really have to go there himself. If there's somebody else who can submit the petition, let them submit the petition. Otherwise, HH, we don't want this man. If possible, please, let us go for a rerun. This man has really troubled us, the Zambians. We don't want him. Why is he forcing himself on us? Tatule mufaya aleya. We don't want. He's making us say all the bad things. He's making people misbehave, saying all the bad things. And you blame them. But when people have told you, how else should Zambians say we don't want you? It is through the ballot. That's the only way they can express themselves. Now they tell you they don't want you. You force yourself on them. You kill them. You beat them. What? Did he come to revenge? All he has done since he came into power is fight the opposition, fight the PF. After fighting PF, now he is fighting Monduli. What kind of a president is this one who came into power to fight? He's a person, HH has no heart for the Zambians. Mr. Lungu might have made his own mistakes, but Lungu loved the Zambians. HH takwa tomutima. This man does not have a heart. Everywhere, people are not happy. In education, people are not happy. In health, people are not happy. In office of the president, people are not happy. So who is he leading? Somehow he's afraid to come out of power because he knows he's made a lot of mistakes. But it is better he goes now. We just wish him bad luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's continue to take your calls and your views. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. This is Mwansa, and I'm calling from Kitwe. First of all, I would just like, if possible, if you can pass this message on to President Munduvile and President Makebi that there are people who are behind them and we haven't forgotten them. We are praying for them and we are rallying behind them even as they file this petition. My only request is help us make sure that this petition goes through. We are really, really hoping that this petition can go through, and we are hoping for the best. Then the second thing I would like to say is, I don't know, but being here in Zambia and also having relatives who are also who are supporters of the UPND government, you can tell that we have a lot of people who I don't know, they are in some kind of hero worship, that whatever the president says is true, even when the facts are plain, even when it is easy to see what is going on, the injustices that are going on. But because of this hero worship and every word that comes from the mouth of the president is law and truth, you find that people still believe that President Munduvile is leading a militia group in this nation. So it's really sad that we have citizens who can't see the truth despite the truth being so plain. But otherwise, what I would like to say is that with the President Munduvile is not forgotten. He has people who are praying for him. We are really praying for him and we are rallying behind him, and we hope this petition can go through and just allow them democracy to prevail. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Continue to call before we begin to consider to close down. Quickly make your calls. Quickly make your calls. Quickly make your calls. Oh, Dr. Sampa is here. We can utilize his presence. Yama, finish your thoughts. It's good you're back.
Ambassador, my apologies. It's very hot here, so the phone got so hot and it switched off. So the other thing to mention, Ambassador, is that after listening to what they're saying, you can see the discontent in the people. And if indeed Hakainde Hichilema won this election, why can't he just challenge everyone by going for a rerun? He doesn't even need to wait for the courts to declare. Let us go for a rerun and let him allow Munduvile to contest so that we see for sure who the people chose without the military. Because I can tell you that, like the previous caller mentioned, that there is hero worshipping. You see, I want to remind our previous caller that we talked about this last time. In dictatorship, they create a personality cult. And the personality cult is also enforced by propaganda. So they say in Zambia, no, Hakainde ni bossy, it's only Hakainde who can do this and that. And they believe that there is no one in Zambia who is better than Hakainde. So in a dictatorship, they need to create this infallible person who everybody should look up to, and whatever they say is word and truth. So when he goes and says, oh, now I'm not even going to be feeling pity because I used to feel pity in the past. Now I'll even be closing down political parties. The followers, all they do is repeat the same sentence. They say, go hard, you were humble, now show them. That is how bad things are. So they say you can't preach to the converted. So don't waste time trying to convert those people. The truth is, if the people who support Hakainde are more than those who don't support him, he wouldn't be using force right now. Because the sentiment would have been a positive one for him. But because more people are opposed to him,
we've lost Dr. Sampa again. Callers, I've got a caller here. Caller, make your contribution.
I just want to add my voice, Anonymous from Osaka.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Very well.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So, if President HH won this election, he should be sober the way Edgar Lungu was when he petitioned. Edgar Lungu did not intimidate anyone. He let the court hear his case. Unfortunately, he filed in out of time. That's why his court case was not heard. So why is he putting the soldiers? You know, why is he putting the soldiers? Why should the army come and control the courts? He shouldn't do that. Please, we don't want him. Let him go. We don't want him. If he's hearing this message, he should know that we do not want him. Please, please, just go in peace. Everybody is hating. All the people are complaining about the bad feeling that we have. Wherever you go, people are so sad, heartbroken. So if he genuinely won those elections, he should, you know, listen to the feelings of the people. I'm sure he's listening. His people are listening. Please, please, just go. Thank you so much, Ramamba.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, caller.
Okay.
Yes, caller.
Yes, I just have a question now. The thing is, should we have this petition go through and then we have a rerun? Are we going to have the same panel from ECZ to handle the elections, or even those will be changed as well?
There is a history in Malawi where the ECZ chair, where the election management body's chair was removed and a neutral person was chosen. You can request that in the court process if that were to be possible. Dr. Sampa is here. Let me just go to him once again. Sampa.
Ambassador. Yeah. So, like I was saying, Ambassador, the thing is that when you look at what is happening right now, like the previous caller said, what is happening is that most of the people are not agreeing with Hakainde because they didn't vote for him, and you can't impose yourself on the people. And that's the reason why, even as we speak, he is not comfortable with Mundubile going to court. One reason is simple. Most of the people are wondering why. The reason is very simple. You know, these judges know, and Hakainde knows, that these judges are unpredictable. The judges may just have this normal feeling of, let me just be fair. They are humans. Yes, they are UPND, but some of them, even if they are UPND, there is just time when there is too much evidence that as a judge, you are going to dent your image. So how much are judges willing to lose just to cover for Hakainde? And remember, everyone who is watching, including the international community, all these organizations, the UN and everyone who is watching this, they know that they want to see what the courts will do about this. And once this case goes into the courts, Hakainde has got no power as much. Yes, he will have power over which judge, but the issue will be the judge will be an independent person who can flip, even if he was appointed or she was appointed by Hakainde. So he doesn't want any unnecessary, risks. That's why he couldn't even allow Mundubile to win. Hakainde does not want any risk of another person taking power. So he can't have free and fair elections. So the good thing is that Mundubile doesn't have to be present when they are filing in. That's what our listeners need to know. He doesn't have to be present. So Mundubile can still be wherever he is very safe, while the lawyers can go there and file. Now, with the military there, again, it will be very interesting to see how it will play out, because we will see a lot of things. Unfortunately, with Hakainde, this is what I keep telling people. With him, don't say, no, he can't do this, no, he can't do that. He can even arrest them in broad daylight. So they need to play the cards very well to ensure that I try to look up Ambassador to see if at all the UN can actually intervene or they can provide security. Actually, what I got was that the UN can come in between the two parties, which is the government and Mundubile, to try and liaise with them and to some extent try to provide some cover as they go and file in. Because this is provided for, especially the fact that Mundubile is under their care. So if the UN can help and other organizations, that will be very helpful. Because the issue with our organizations in Zambia, Ambassador, most of them are UPND, and they were UPND for a long time. I concur with one caller who mentioned Ambassador, this caller who was talking about Zumanzimba said that, you know, Zumanzimba was nowhere to be seen until after, after ECL fired the advisor and then decided to bring him in. But if you recall, who were following what Zumanzimba was doing earlier, Zumanzimba was a critic, an armchair critic of ECL. Now, the difference between ECL and Hakainde is that ECL, as an educated person with a good heart, he understood that politics are not personal. So, because Zumanzimba used to criticize ECL, ECL decided to bring in Zumanzimba and see, maybe he liked some of the things he was criticizing, so he just hired a person he thought was a good person who had the necessary qualifications. This is a guy who was a University of Zambia scholar and who understood political science. So Lungu was a very mature man, both as a mere human being and as a president. So ECL didn't take it personal. And that is one thing that made me respect him more, because he had to get a critic and make them an advisor, which is very good. Now, did Zumanzimba turn out to be an advisor he was? I think from what we have seen, Ambassador, I'll be very categorical. I am one of the people before the 2021 elections who was very critical of the Patriotic Front. Ambassador, these organizations, when I met them, most of them, 90% of them, they were looking like they were they were mature, they understood what was right and wrong. But what I came to learn after the elections was that they were merely UPND stooges. UPND was working with organizations to paint PF black. So immediate UPND won elections, they now became full-blown UPND, including some of the organizations right now who are trying to come out like they are condemning. But in the actual sense, they are still UPND. And the same thing can be said about Zumanzimba. I concur with the previous scholar. Zumanzimba, because he was a critic, ECL thought it was a neutral scholar. But in reality, from what we have seen, this is a man who might have been working with the UPND even from the word go. So when ECL lost, how can you, who was advising someone, come and say ECL lost on his own? And indeed, ECL was really a good man. That man suffered both in death and even when he was alive. How can these people have no heart? Look at Zumanzimba. After betraying ECL, still ECL forgave him. You look at what he has done to Mundubile. He has again betrayed Mundubile. Even goes as far as going on ZMBC. Ambassador, are you aware that yesterday, I'm sure you are aware, but to our listeners need to know that the entire Tonse are with Mundubile, 3/4 of them in the Council of Leaders. But this Zumanzimba was telling people that if we file, we are going to anger Hakainde. I'm saying this because he has now come in the open. It was said in the meeting. People were like, why would you be worried about angering Hakainde? That no, he's going to get upset. And then the next thing he goes on ZMBC and says, oh, according to the political science I've studied, this is going to be political confrontation. No, this is political hypocrisy. Because what he is doing is that he knows where he stands. And he wants to use jargons to try and explain to unsuspecting people why he's doing what he's doing. How do you explain somebody stealing elections in broad daylight and then you let go at the expediency of your own safety? That means you don't care about the country. I want our listeners to recall what happened in South Korea. The president merely called for, there were people who were protesting, and the president decided to declare a state of emergency. It didn't even last. Where is that president today? They had to make the president as an example. That's why in Zambia, we need to make Hakainde as an example. I can assure you, if we don't handle this very well and we let it slip, next time it will be worse than what we are seeing. If Mtoto Kafwaya can die today for doing nothing, and they start giving them false accusations, and Mundubile can run away and start seeking merely for being an opposition leader, I can tell you next time they will be shooting opposition leaders. They are just walking, you stand, they kill you. Like this other caller who said, people are so afraid. Akainde is slowly achieving what dictators manage to achieve, which is instill fear. Because once you instill fear, now people will learn that when you are against the government or when you start resistance, you will be killed, or they are going to come after you in a hard way. And when people are scared, that means the dictator starts winning, because now they will be humble and listening and following to what the dictator is saying, regardless of whether it is right or wrong. But we shouldn't allow this. And Mundubile must go ahead with this petition. It is our only chance. It is a chance that is going to liberate Zambia. And we all know that once this petition goes through, just a petition going through on its own will be a plus, and we will need to celebrate that. Because Hakainde doesn't want it to go. He doesn't want it to be there. So once we manage this, and I have got word that for sure this will happen, and it will happen at an expected time. But people should just pray that this happens, and we all are holding our hands together.
Thank you. Let me take some calls. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Hello, caller.
Hello, Ramondama.
Endita.
Okay. All right, Ramamba. Yeah, I think the main concern here is the petition. I also support it so much, Ramamba. You know, Ramamba, I just want to say one thing which is very, very important. And I'm going to ask you a question. What is the purpose of living? Ramamba, what's the purpose of living? You and I, yeah, with so many many people are suffering a lot. Hello?
We can hear you, Mama. Continue. Uh-oh, she thought she was not being heard. Hello? Okay. We lost them. Doc, any contribution?
Ambassador, before it cut, I remember you wanted me to comment on something. I'm wondering what it was before I can comment on other things. Because before the call cut earlier,
Doc, there was a question I asked whether Mundubile should yield to this request of abandoning his election petition and conceding defeat. And that's been the pressure you were saying has been put on him.
Ambassador, I want to say this directly to Mundubile. If Mundubile yields to this pressure, it will be betrayal of the highest order to the Zambian people. I can tell you that Mundubile already has, and it will be betrayal to Mutotwe Kafwaya. Then Mutotwe Kafwaya would have died for nothing. Mutotwe Kafwaya lost his life. And then Mundubile decides to reason with the same killers of Mutotwe Kafwaya. That will be the worst betrayal, and I can tell you that is political suicide. It will be the end of Mundubile's party, it will be the end of Mundubile's political career. Because Hakainde doesn't want to make peace with Mundubile. Hakainde wants Mundubile to capitulate. And immediately Mundubile does that, it's the end. And again, it will be a betrayal on the Zambia as a state. Because there will be no freedom in Zambia. Mundubile will not be different from people like the same Zumanzimba. If he capitulates, Mundubile should not make that mistake, Ambassador. Once he capitulates, I can tell you, we are not going to complain about Zumanzimba. Then Zumanzimba would have been right. Every other person who has betrayed him would have been right. All these presidents, funny presidents like Tembo and the other ones who are running around like headless chickens going to Hakainde, would have been right. So Mundubile should not fall prey to this. Let Hakainde fight it and be the reason it doesn't go through, but not Mundubile capitulating. And anyone who is following Mundubile to even advise him doesn't love him if they are saying that he should capitulate. Because Mundubile didn't start this fight as an individual, and he didn't start this fight because he wanted personal gain. Look, Mundubile has been an MP for 10 years. He has got enough to live for, and he doesn't even need any financial help. Mundubile was doing this Zambia. As for Zambia, is the love that he should use now to fight for this country. So, Ambassador, that question which you've asked, the answer is no, Mundubile should not capitulate. Instead, Mundubile should move forward. He should go ahead. We are not even supposed to be discussing this. It is a straightforward thing. Elections were stolen. Mundubile declared. Mundubile is not Hakainde who is a liar. Mundubile said, I am going to make sure I petition. He even said, we are going to use legal means because he doesn't want to use violence. So, if Mundubile today changes his mind, then Hakainde and Mundubile will be the same. They will become liars. So Mundubile should never do that or think of even stopping. He is supposed to go ahead with the petition, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. We'll be coming to the end of the program. It's been a marathon from morning. We had our morning show, and now we have this evening show. Thank you for your support. We are tracking the issues around the elections, election petition. We are pursuing this matter. We'll discuss it at breakfast tomorrow. That the soldiers have surrounded the Supreme Court grounds where the registry for filing of nominations to the Constitutional Court and Supreme Court are. So we will follow up with people that have videos. Kindly send us. If you're passing through the High Court, get a slow videos and send it to us so that we can show our people what is happening. There was an issue of inauguration, that there will be an inauguration on Monday. I have followed up this matter with my connections from both foreign affairs and other countries where you send invitations. It appears that the inauguration will be on 1st September. And this is what is legal. You have to allow for the 14 days to lapse in which the Constitutional Court is supposed to resolve the issues, legal issues that may arise. So the president will be sworn in on 1st September. And these are the plans of President Hakainde Hichilema. If it was Brian Mundubile, we don't know what his plans would be and the date that he would pick. Will the petition be filed? With all these frustrations, let's discuss it tomorrow. God bless you and shalom, shalom.